Not all romantic stories need spotlights. Some are born in warm, cramped spaces behind kitchen doors, among the smells of slowly cooked food and the attentive gestures of hands. That's the picture that came to the fore when a photo was widely circulated on social media. A man in a simple black shirt, looking down with focus, arranging slices of ingredients on a white plate in a quiet professional kitchen. Netizens called the moment the most mature romance. And before long, Cha Eun-woo and Moon Jae-young's names were dragged into the conversation. Not as a cheap sensation, but rather as a symbol of closeness that feels human. Photos that changed the tone of public conversation. Unlike the previous photos that sparked wild speculation, this picture in the kitchen actually softened the emotions of the public. There is no crowd. There is no suspicious distance. There are no hidden camera angles. All that is noticeable is perseverance. A man prepares dishes carefully, as if time slows down to make room for details. Netizens who uploaded the photo mentioned that the moment was a small banquet for friends, and Moon Jae-young was said to be present as part of the same circle of friends. This claim soon spread, was discussed, and interestingly, received in a much warmer tone. Why is the kitchen the center of romance? In modern Korean culture, cooking for others is often viewed as the language of love. Not a show of ability, but an act of caring. That is why this photo is read differently. If previously the public interpreted proximity through physical distance, now proximity is captured through attention to detail. One netizen wrote, "Romance is not a kiss. Romance is when a person prepares food for the people he cares for." The sentence was shared thousands of times. Cha Eun-woo. Public image and silent side. Cha Eun-woo's name is often associated with the image of perfect, visual, polite, measured. But this moment in the kitchen reveals another rarely seen side. The calmness of a man who chooses to be fully present in small actions. Netizens dissected details. Simple watches on the wrist, forward-leaning posture, full focus, warm lighting that highlights a lowered face. All of that forms a new narrative. Maturity. Moon Jae-young. In a softer story, Moon Jae-young is said to be present not as the center of the spotlight, but rather part of the safe circle. In the netizens' narrative, he is depicted sitting with other friends, talking slowly, waiting for the meal to finish. Interestingly, the public is no longer looking for secret signs. They praise the normality of the moment. A fan writes, "Finally, they look like ordinary people who have friends and eat together." This tone feels different, more mature, more empathic. Friendship as a foundation. This news does not stand on purely romantic claims. Many comments emphasize that friendship is at the heart of the story. A small banquet, according to netizens' claims, was prepared for several close friends. A simple ritual to celebrate being together in the midst of a busy schedule. In a world of entertainment that often demands distance and formality, cooking for friends becomes a small form of resistance to alienation. A kitchen detail that becomes a metaphor. The kitchen in the photo looks professional but not overwhelming. The chandelier emits a golden glow. Equipment neatly organized. No flashy luxuries. All this is read by netizens as a deliberate attempt to keep it simple, as if there was an unspoken message. Warmth does not need to be expensive. From rumor to respect. One of the most striking changes is the shift in public attitudes. If earlier rumors sparked polarization, now the conversation is moving towards respect. Many write, "Let them live. It's a beautiful moment, don't spoil it." If true, this is an example of a healthy relationship. This change suggests that the narrative determines the reaction. When stories are framed as care and togetherness, the public softens. Cuisine as an emotional language. Cultural psychologists call cooking for others a pro-social act that enhances a sense of attachment. In the context of celebrities, this action feels stronger because it is rarely seen. The photo, while simple, conveys a message: be present, pay attention, and take your time. The silence of the agency that this time understood. Interestingly, the agency's silence this time did not arouse suspicion. The public seemed to agree that not all moments need clarification. When the story is positive, silence becomes a form of respect. Adult romance. No promises, no labels. Is this a love story? Some netizens replied. Maybe some say, no need to label. Adult romanticism, according to many comments, is precisely present when two people are comfortable in the same space, share a social circle, and do not impose large narratives. Impact on public image. Instead of spoiling, this moment strengthens the image. Cha Eun-woo is seen as warm and down-to-earth. Moon Jae-young is calm and mature. Both are perceived to be able to maintain boundaries. Brands and media also read the positive wind direction. Companions, the dinner table and small talk. Netizens imagine the atmosphere after the dish. Quiet laughter, light conversation, stories about a long day. This imagination, although speculative, becomes a bridge of empathy between the public and public figures. To this point, photos are no longer proof. It becomes a shared story. Why do people need stories like this? In the midst of loud news and endless conflicts, the public longs for a soothing narrative. Moments of cooking and eating together offer an escape. That life, even for celebrities, can be that simple. Cover. Warmth that does not need to be confirmed. Is it true that Cha Eun-woo cooks for Moon Jae-young and his friends? The public will probably never get official confirmation. What is clear, however, is that the photograph has done something rare. Unite the emotions of the public in warmth, and maybe that's enough. Because in the end, romance is not always about recognition. Sometimes it comes in neatly arranged dishes, warm kitchen lights, and people waiting patiently. Netizens agreed on one thing. The photo of the kitchen does not feel far-fetched. No overexposure. No camera-conscious poses. Visible are only spontaneous moments, the kind of moments that are not usually intended for public consumption. That's why the photo feels honest, a social media user wrote. If this is the setting, it's too simple. If it's fake, it's too quiet. The comment was liked thousands of times. Why does cooking for friends feel so romantic? In today's fast-paced culture, taking your time is the highest form of luxury. Especially for public figures with busy schedules, cooking for others means postponing work, stripping image. Fully present. Netizens judged that this action, if done correctly by Cha Eun-woo, shows a mature romance. Not a noisy romance, but rather a responsible and grounded one. At Moon Jae-young, being present without being the center in the developing story, Moon Jae-young is not portrayed as a special guest, but rather a natural part of the friendship circle. He is said to sit with others, talk slowly, wait for food while sharing stories. For the public, this is important. The narrative goes from a secret relationship to a healthy togetherness. One netizen wrote, if they're comfortable in the same circle of friends, that's a sign that any relationship, romantic or not, is built on security. Small details that corroborate the story. Netizens again dissected the details of the photo. White plates laid out one by one, careful hand movements, full focus on the dish, not the phone. These details build a picture of attention without distraction. A rare luxury. From sensation to appreciation. Interestingly, the public's response to this photo was the opposite of the response to previous rumors. If before emotions were driven by curiosity and suspicion, now what arises is appreciation and protection. Many comments read, please don't ruin this moment. Let them have a normal life. This is what we should celebrate. This change shows how much the way stories are told affects empathy. Dining table as a safe space. Netizens imagine the atmosphere after the dish is finished. Warm food served, light conversation flows, a little carefree laughter. The dining table, in many cultures, is a safe space, a place where people can be themselves. If it is true that this moment occurs, then that is the essence of romanticism, the sense of being accepted. Cha Eun-woo and the image of new maturity. This photo of the kitchen helped to form a new image of Cha Eun-woo in the eyes of the public. Not just a visual idol, but a mature man who is able to take care of his circle. Entertainment observers refer to this as soft maturity, maturity that does not need to be announced but felt. When the public learns to take a step back, there is one thing worth noting. For the first time in this long series of stories, the public chose to take a step back. They do not demand clarification. They don't force labels. This moment is accepted as quite what it is. Romance without confession. Is this a love story,